And welcome to the We Like Softball Podcast with Crazy Shorts on his way. And today we have a very special guest. We have Terry Sherrill joining us at some point today, so make sure you stay tuned. And again, Crazy Shorts is joining us. We have plenty to talk about on the We Like Softball Podcast. That can be found on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, so on and so forth. And also the live recording, 6:30 until 8 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. So make sure you follow us on Twitter as well at We Like Sportz PC. And it's about time to talk about some softball too. This past weekend at VSP, ended up having the 6 a.m. boys, I ended up believing is the correct name for them. Almost getting double dipped, but they came out strong to end up winning that one, 26-23. And at this time, we are joined by Terry Sherrill. What's going on, Terry?
What's happening? Yes, listen. What a great day. Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. A little basketball today, each and every day. I love the kids, and we had a forfeit, so I get to join you for an hour. Can you take me for
awesome. An hour? No, not awesome that there's a forfeit, but it's awesome that you get to join us for an hour.
Okay, listen, this is the first week. I had to play my theme song real quick. Here's out. Till my bone collapse. Hey, let me shut that off. Okay, so listen, that's my theme song. Every game I come to, that's what I play. Because listen, we got to keep doing what we're doing. We're an official. So what's going on?
Sorry I'm late to the show, fellas. I don't know what was going on my phone.
Well, always late. You were late when I struck you out.
So what did I miss here? We got you for an hour now?
Well, yeah, here's what happened. I had a forfeit. We only had 3 kids. It's the first week of our new session. We keep going. We keep rolling. I'm in the Valparaiso, Chesterton, Crown Point. They love their basketball. So we do this year round, doing the kids today. And but I got 3 more games after this. But I got you for an hour. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been looking forward to it for a while. Wish we would have been able to have you last week, but we had a few things come up and we had other people fill in for that episode, but it all worked out.
I truly had. We had tournament. We finished up our last session last week, so I was unavailable anyway. It just worked out perfectly. But you know what? Successful as you guys are, I know it was a good one. And I can't look forward to spending some time with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right there.
Definitely. Well, since we got you earlier, I guess we're going to switch up how we do things a little bit. Peyton, you want to shall we finish with like the normal Palooza and the weekend or later? And
that's what I was just about to text you right now. That's exactly what we'll do. We'll end up bumping that until then, and we'll do the interview now and just go right into it.
All right. Yeah, sounds good to me. Well then, while we're talking about the referee and Terry, let's get a jump in on that. Let's go way back to when you started that. Unless I already missed it.
Okay, 28 years ago I started basketball. You know, I played at a high level in high school and I did 2 years of college. Of course, I started my family, but I jumped into reffing. So I've been doing the high level here in Indiana. I made it to the top, and my 2 proudest things is I do prep, and I got Lalamere. So I've been scheduling Lalamere for 11 years, and today's a special day because Jaron Jackson Jr. just got Defensive Player of the Year. I tweeted him earlier. He said, "Boy, you're still my favorite ref. I wish he was in the NBA." But I reffed him probably 24 times while he was in high school at Lalamere. They have 12 home games, and you know, I did every one of them because they were national champions. And Owen, Jordan Poole. Who else did they have? Tiger Campbell and Wendell Green was just a freshman, but they had a squad. So they went to New York and won the Geico the year of Jaron's senior year. But yeah, I'm proud of them today because Lalamere is my thing, man. I mean, they're always pushing out, you know, high level players, Jaden, of course, and Isaiah Stewart and Poole. So that's but anyway, get back to what I'm doing now is God closed that door in high school. I've been to the level where, you know, you can't get no higher. So we got a field house here. Like I was saying, it's all the Northwestern Indiana, and Northwestern Indiana has basketball love for Chesterton and, you know, always up there, Valparaiso. So with that being said, God closed that door, opened this one. And I do about 22 games a week here. teaching the kids to get to the next level and putting smiles on these kids' face, teaching them the game the right way is what I love to do. And tonight, when I end, because I keep count because, you want to know what you got going on. 560 basketball games since October.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so
October of past fall?
That's basketball, bro. Put that in your cup and smoke it. Yeah, run many leagues and help out the youth here in northwestern Indiana. That's what I do.
Wow, you stay busy then. I mean,
I stay busy. Yeah, I don't stop. I go. Then now I'm believe it or not. You see me at the Mojo. I got 78 softball games in since the start of the season. We're only in April, so that's going to this weekend about 9. I mean, this weekend coming up 19, and then next weekend I'm in Fort Wayne for the Always 100. It's a basketball big tournament in Fort Wayne at the Spiece. That's 20 games, but I'm bringing about 8 referees with me, personal friends. I am my brother's keeper, so we're going to go see some high-level basketball. Last year, the Always won. I do it every year. Last year, there was like 10 girls that went on to Division I. So it's going to be real good. It's a women's, but it's great. The girls already committed, but they're playing with their little AU team before they start, their summer break. Kids got to get break before they go into college. So, but they play basketball for a couple more months, hot and heavy, down in Indy, in Columbus, Ohio, all over the place. So it's busy, busy, busy.
And this weekend, where are you at for umpiring? Just for my curiosity.
Yes. Where am I at?
Yeah, where are you umpiring?
And I'm in the state of Ohio. I'm in Berliner, my favorite place to come. And we got the Weekender, 163 teams coming to get you.
Oh yeah. I hope I cross your path.
I sure do too. You're going to hear me whatever field you're on because you're going to hear something go like this. Right there.
I'll be going right to that direction.
But I was honored. It's a pleasure having you at the Mojo.
Yeah. Oh man, it was just an honor to have you too. And I was starting to wonder there because I knew you were like on your retirement or you were on your glory road as you would call it. But how is your body holding up now? Because I mean, we had a little scare there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great because I did post my retirement. 32 years in the game, and got elected in the Hall of Fame for One Nation, the only one I wanted, and pretty much done everything. But I miss the guys. But my knee, I got it scoped, and I keep getting cortisone shots in it. It's just like a flat tire. But I keep it's bone on bone. I got my right knee 2 years ago, same thing. I finally had that done, and then this one has to be done. It's got to be done. But it's feeling good. And then I was supposed to fly to Arizona this coming up weekend, but they didn't have enough teams, so I was going to wait. So next weekend I was supposed to have my surgery, my knee replacement, and but it feels so good. And we got King of the Hill. We've got I've got 80. I've got 78 worlds. If I get my 2 in, it'll be 80. So I quit at 80, but I'm coming back. I'm like Jordan, bro. If I retire, I'm coming back. But the knee is going to be replaced in December. So I got till December. I'm going to do a little basketball, go October, November, because you remember I started in October heavy. We're talking.
So how many games do you think you'll end up having by the end of the time you end up getting into December, roughly?
As far as softball?
Honestly, overall, too. I mean, you're doing basketball, too. I'd say roughly 1,000 if I could guess.
No, you're going. I go because I love y'all, so I'm just excited to be here. I just got it's called the Heroes program now in One Nation. It was the military, but it's Heroes because we've invited in, first responders, the firemen, the police, of course. And then, of course, we got, if it wasn't for freedom, we wouldn't get to do what we do. So I'm honored to be the UIC for the military, which is now called the Heroes. So I got a few things. May 7th, 8th, and 9th, we're in Kalamazoo. And then I think me and Chris Matisse, by the way, we're going to go to Dallas, Texas, sometime in June after the King of the Hill, if they got enough teams. But the last one is the World Series. Last year they had like 20-some teams, and Augusta, Georgia. Yeah, I got to go play with Tiger for a minute, but no, it was in Augusta, Georgia. It's coming back this year. and I accepted it, and I'm going to go back and do the military world. So that will give me 81 because I'm doing 2 at Berliner. But roughly, you're going to probably be 700 if I was a bet man, and I'm pretty good at it. About 700 games when it comes to December, and then it's done, man, for a while. Then y'all pray for me because I'm coming back because I love the people. Y'all don't know me, but if you knew me, you know you love me because this is what I do. I officiate at the highest level, and I have fun. Smile on my face.
Yeah, when I pull up to a field and I know that we got you, I am just automatic electric. It's energizing. Just your presence, just your energy you give off. You're just never I've never seen you in a bad mood. And even if you are in a bad mood, you're still happy. I don't know.
I don't even sleep when you see me when I come to tournaments. I probably don't sleep Wednesday. I'm up, I'm watching, I'm getting focused, ready, and I'm coming to because I want to be there. It's not that I have to be there. I want to be there. I want to enjoy you. And then every time, you know what? I got criticized, but if you know me, regardless if you get a bad hit or a good hit, I always compliment you. Great hit, sizzle. I always say, Bayou, and that's what I do. I mean, I'm proud of what you do because you're an athlete, and I do it to everyone. So no one can really say nothing. Some of the lower level who don't know me, kind of when I was younger, they don't. And everybody knows me now. So, but I'm probably the only one that gets away with it, and booyah and stuff like that. But that's what I do. I mean, I'm fun. I'm having just as much fun as you are. But at the end of the day, not one of my calls is going to cost the game. I guarantee my hustle, my consistency, the winning team is going to win. I've never had a tournament director, because we got 37 fields going on. You don't want that director over there, when there's a problem situation. That's my field. That's my field. When I step on it, I try to be professional. I try to look good. I try to answer all your questions. And then when it's ball striked out to save, that's mine. That's all I got. You take care of the rest. And then, I love y'all, man. You guys get down. You won your game, and I was happy for you. The other team gave a good effort, but you're my boys. You know who I want.
I made sure I was.
Don't tell
I
anybody.
made sure I was catcher that game. I had to be right next to you, man. I had to get as much action as I can while you're still around, Yeah, and especially while you're in Ohio, at least.
I mean, I was so close to having Terry too.
One of my favorite catchers, but I've had the best catchers. Being an umpire for the longest I have, the great advice I got from Hank Garris played for TPS. He caught, and then J.C. Phelps. I've had Wegman back there. I've had the best of the best. I mean, these guys got their own bats. They told me, hey, get in with the catcher, make him your friend because, hey, he'll take care of them and you take care of the rest, right? So I always put the catcher in my back pocket. I do. Catchers are the shit. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, I do. Good. What? You're the one who I talk to the most, and you're the one who understands. My strike zone is on every time. I kind of invented it. 2010, I came in with GSL, so I pretty much wrote the rules, was at every meeting because I was a director for the state of Indiana. So me and Cliff, Billy, and Ray was there, Joe was there, and we just sat down and we made the rule. 5 to 10 is easy call. So I try to stay consistent. I think I got the best strike zone in the country. I really do. And that's not being
consistent for sure.
Being confident.
Yeah. Man, and speaking of the whole strike zone thing, I hope we do get you again because I want to pitch while you're my umpire.
I would love it.
Oh my God, for you to give me a right there. So we were going to at Mojo, but the games before you, my other pitcher he did a good job, so I couldn't switch it up in that spot. I think I was playing second base, and Austin was catching. So me and Austin, I was like, let me be by Terry, and you go out and play the field, and it worked out perfectly.
Absolutely. Bro, I love you, man. You know what? From the first time we met, man, it's a lot of them like John. I'm good friends with Roger Bias and my boys, Sean over there and Team Extreme. I've got the respect, but I just get a rapport with y'all. We can be, man, and Sean and Roger, man, they're very competitive. So to be their friend outside the lines, that's what I'm talking about. And he told me way back in the day when he pitched for Roosters, I mean, I go back to my NSA days when I did the major. I started up in 3 years, and they threw me right into the majors. So with that being said, Jeff Hall, and a matter of fact, he's the last guy I threw out of the game. I don't throw nobody out because my philosophy is if I throw you out, you got it easy. You go to the dugout, and especially when it's 90, 80, 100 degrees out, I got to suffer. You ain't got to. Shit. You're staying in the game, bro, but you ain't getting it. But we don't have that. We try to nip that in the bud. But yeah, so I just every level that I do, I give it my best. It doesn't matter if I do an E, I'm giving it an A game.
Yeah.
And then the mojo, I had the C. Very good, very good. I was very happy to get C, and the championship was great. We had Young Money, who's coming up. Goodness, Young Money's a great team. They lost 2019 to Fort Wayne Frickers, and then Frickers went on to beat the Amish boys. Now, Amish, I'm going to tell you a little story about Amish, but the Hornets, they had to double dip them, which they did, but how good was that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Great job. He did a really good job. But from where when I started, Silverbacks, Cedar Creek, DR, Synergy, man, it goes Rock and Run, who's going to be there this week. All them Amish boys, I was their director. So I kind of started them, man. They were, like 3 of them won a world championship with me. And then I had my first one was Street Kids. I won the B back in 2012, which I got the National Umpire of the Year for GSL that year. And I was honored. But I'm the awards don't mean nothing. I share them with my fellow umpires. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, you definitely earned it because you stand out. You're different.
I could the way that I work and my work ethic, I could get it every year. But share it with whoever. But they know this when they come and work my field, and I work with anyone. You got Jordan behind the plate, and I got Scottie Pippen out there on the bases. That's a championship. Hey, just ride my coattails, baby. Just go out there and call a good game on the bases. So, and that's what we do. And One Nation's got some great umpires. There's great umpires in every association, but right now we're trying hard, and we're trying. Hey, Berliner, Ohio, you guys are helping us become who we are. So we thank you for the players. So Cliff Nation, yeah. So
and we appreciate him doing the softball for us. I don't know what we would do without softball. We'd be a bunch of grown men just going to work and being adults and losing our damn minds. Softballs are peak.
I've been divorced a couple of times because of softball, but here's the thing that you guys go out there and play the game the right way. The ones that do, and here again, freedom, man. They're probably not doing softball in Ukraine, Russia, and all that. We've got freedom. So let's get out there and play and love your teammates. Because they're the ones you're going to hang out with at the end of the game. But I'm going to give you all the props in the world. And if you pop up to the infield, I'm going to let you know it too, man, because you're a grown ass man and you're going to hit in the infield. Come on, you got a $500 bat. You got a $500 bat, a $5 ball, and a $25 umpire. Take your chances with that bat. Technology, baby, today. Use that proton. Use that those new Suncos, whatever. But no, that's what I'm saying. The players are going to play. You guys get together. You got a competitive team. You guys are planning to win every game. Every game.
Yep. Yeah, that's just one of the things that's different. A lot of upcoming league players think that they could just come into tournaments and just get in there and fit in, and it's not the case. I'm expressing that as I speak to some of these younger kids coming into the game, or even some of the older fellas that just never played tournaments, that they're just now getting into it. I'm like, you're going to learn a little lesson. It's a lot different than league. Your league is your 2 games and then you're out of there. The tournament is a full day, full weekend grind. Against other real teams, not just other league teams. Most league teams have weak links. These tournament teams don't have weak links.
Absolutely. Hey, you can't give a team outs, but listen, if they want to be where they're, need to be, they need to listen to vets like you and your other teammates, telling them and encouraging them. But here again, don't come in like, you're the king, because right now you're going to be playing. Hey, There's always somebody better than you, always, no matter what you do in life, always out there training harder and trying to be better. But we got a good thing going on now. Berliner, you have a good time regardless what you would be, win or lose. I'm gonna put a smile on your face, because here it happened. the team that I have the first game of the tournament usually win 90% of the chance. Whoever won that game usually wins the tournament. I love it. I love it. So I think my first game, the team that won won the tournament. It was beautiful.
How many sanctions have you umpired or refereed, like, for softball wise? Let's just stick with softball. How many sanctions have you done?
Yeah, but don't do referee because there's only one, and that's right here. This IHSA patch. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, and I think it says professional on it, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. Okay. I started out with ASA just for a couple years because that's all we had. And,
right.
It was, I think at that time, they let them like pitch 12 foot. So, but I was just coming in green. A great buddy of mine said, Terry, because I was done playing, I wasn't getting no hits. I'm not going to tell you, I wasn't the best player, but I was a great great umpire. We all are. Shit. I couldn't get a hit.
You still in Indiana at this time?
Yes, all Indiana. So that was that was when I started. That was my Frankenstein, and then I moved on to NSA for a long time. I was with NSA for 11, 12 years.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
Did it all, and then I went to GSL because I was the director. Me and Cliff met in Lebanon, Indiana. Cliff was a great guy. He had a vision. And you already see what it's propelled to be. He's an entrepreneur. Him and Billy, and I signed on. He let me do what I wanted to do. State of Indiana. I had my first state. In D, I had 18. In E, I had 16. I didn't have the C and B program. I had street kids, but they were playing other organizations. But because we took them down that year, I took about 8 teams down to Worlds, and I had 3 winners. I got a winner in a D. I got a winner in the E and B. So that's where it propelled. I started it, and it was going great. And then Cliff signed with U-Trip, GSL U-Trip. So with that being said, Richard Foltz took over because, he's from Indianapolis. We combined, and then I was just umpiring. And now I'm One Nation, bro. Last year I was the assistant state director for Indiana. But did a lot of traveling. Didn't really have time to be in this director. I'm an umpire. So last year I clipped about 485 games.
Wow.
Nation's it. This is my home. Cliff is my guy. He's my brother. He left the light on. I came on back through, and I'm promoting it the best I can. And I'm crazy, but I'm wild, and I'm excited every time I see everybody on the diamond. That's what I do. And I'm coming with a video.
So you made the Hall of Fame. Let's talk a little more about that.
Okay.
What actually did you get introduced in for? Exactly.
Umpire category. Umpire. I don't know if you guys know Jumbo. He was the first one last year.
Okay.
Chuck Fennell. Fennell? Yeah, Chuck Fennell. I like it. Fennell. It sounds good. But Jumbo, we call him Jumbo. Many, many years he did he probably in Ohio, he probably started with NSA. He did the same. He's been doing it as long as I have, if not longer. Right. But he was the first one inducted umpire. So we only doing one a year. So last year was him. We got another umpire. So next year it might be a director, so on and so on. But number 2 is cool with me. I'm here. This is the only one I wanted. I've had many, many umpires of the year national, but I share that with my other fellow umpires, my brotherhood, sisterhood. But being elected to the Hall of Fame is a true honor. It was for my peers.
So you did say you played before you umped, right?
Yeah, I sucked. Yeah, but I did.
Did you just do like league, or did you do tournament?
I can't say that. I was second base. We played B, ASA. We did some NSA, but we went to, like the regional. We won a national regional. But as far, I like to hit like up the middle. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a small guy, and to the right side. And when my batting average started going down, it was, and I watched a great umpire. His name was Jerry Carson. He started me. Now, he's the one who really started me in the ASA thing because I quit playing and they got me into umping. And so I thank him for teaching me the game. But yeah, when my time, when your time's done, when you're batting 0.25, 0.025, it's time to go. It's time to go. But I know my strike zone. I knew what I wanted, And I just said I could do this. So got behind the plate, right there, started, and 32 years, bro.
So Terry, with you playing before, did you end up having to like have an inspiration with an umpire on the field where you ended up getting like your charisma to end up translate it? Like, did you learn that from somebody and see it on the field where you were playing, or was it just something that you just picked up on your own because you just have that natural energy?
I think I came out the womb doing right there. I ain't gonna lie, man. Here's the thing. A strike came in. It wasn't until like 4 years in, and I said right there. So, and then I don't know if I watched Naked Gun or whatever, but I came down the line with the right there, and that's my that. It's actually it's for the pitcher. You know that. I give a strike to the home team or the visiting team or the home pitcher, and then you get one for the visiting pitcher. But with that being said, I'll get you on a strikeout too. But yeah, that's just something I did. It's not to show anybody up. Let's go. That's just me. I am who I am. Always be who you are. And that's why I like about Cliff, Billy, and NSA actually. They let me be me. You know what I'm saying? As long as I got consistency and I hustle and I get the game done, hey, those 2 strike zones are mine. It's something I do.
Yeah, I'm sure most people will vote for it. Then again,
they are. You know, it's a 90-10. I mean, but you know what? I've always got a hater coming around. So hate on. Mm-hmm. I don't hate you. I don't go to your job, tell you what to do. Don't come to mine. Watch the whole game. Watch the whole game, bro. Watch the whole game and see how the turnout was. But that's what it not being. You guys know I love you. I'll do it to my best friend if he's Young Money's first batter. He loves me. I love him. I get him all the time because hey, and C, you got great pitchers. Yeah, if you're gonna take that first strike, I love it. Sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 innings that won't have one, but you're gonna get one sooner or later. That's just what I do. But I love y'all, man. Listen, this is awesome. Can't wait to see y'all this weekend. I'm coming up Friday. It's going to be a great tournament this weekend. Joe's kind of struggling a little bit. A couple of Indiana umpires backed out, so that's just more games for me. And I can do it. I got 9 in a row. Come and see me, baby.
I'm hoping the weather's going to stay decent for us. And it dropped down. I don't know how it is out there, but it's definitely a little chilly out here now.
It ain't warm.
About 50. We're about 50, but today's just Wednesday or Tuesday. We got Wednesday, Thursday. I seen that we had rain coming on Saturday.
It damn near snowed here like last night.
No, it did this morning. It was snowing this morning. There's no lie there.
Oh, we got snow. Hey, we got snow yesterday, and I woke up to snow. Matter of fact, I missed the garbage because I didn't want to get out there and run out there and take the garbage out. So the garbage man left my can. So I don't know. I got to keep it for a week. But it was cold. It was snowing. Well, let's get this weather. You know, you guys are like us, Indiana and Ohio. Man, you just never know. It could be cold in June.
Yeah. I think I had got like.
Hey, come over here, Coach. This is one of my favorite coaches, Coach Boyd. He can tell you, look, I got his game next. Coach Boyd, I'm on podcast from someone. Coach Boyd,
how y'all doing?
Tell your boy who's the best ref in Indiana.
Oh, this
that's one of my favorite coaches. He coached Michigan City, first coached Westside to a state championship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Coach Boyd.
No.
I love him to death. And he does what I told you. He helps the kids. And he tried to get me every home game, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. And matter of fact, I had that game when Jaron Jackson was playing with Loudamere. Boyd and them playing. But listen, they only lost by 30-something. But you got to remember. A year after that. My bad, it was 14. But look, that's the year they went on to win a state championship, national championship.
That's amazing.
I wish I had his pictures that he had sent me. We didn't have enough time throughout the day, but he had some real good pictures, like with Jaron Jackson.
That's amazing. The fact that
he was side by side with him in high school, and then he was telling me about Jordan Poole and everyone else. Oh, we must have lost him there, huh?
Yeah, he'll be back. I'll send him the link just so that nobody freaks out either. It's an easy return.
Yeah, but that's freaking amazing to have seen these NBA stars just in high school growing up. You know what I mean? Like you watch them as kids, and then you personally know them. Like that's just insane to me.
I mean, and the fact that he ended up bringing one of the coaches on too, while in the middle of the interview too. That's one of the best parts, and that's one of those coaches that he's proving his point that people want him at all times, just because he's good at what he does. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard not to like him. It's hard to not like that dude.
There's so many people that end up having issues with umpires, and sometimes they're in the right, sometimes they're in the wrong, but that's exactly what you need, though. Somebody with that kind of personality, because he's showing, hey, you know what? I'm able to be myself out here, and nobody's going to end up changing it.
Yeah. Sweeney, Wahoos.
It's that gear I'm wearing.
Well, I guess, you get a little chance to talk about the Normal Palooza if you want.
Yeah, I mean, until he ends up reconnecting, we could end up going from there. But, I mean, with Normal Palooza, I know a lot of people ended up having disagreements because it was a paper roster tournament. And you and I were talking about it this past Saturday when it was a nice 70-plus, 80-degree day for the first time in forever. And we got 40 degrees and snow this morning and cold-ass weather last night. But you ended up even saying, too, and you brought it to my attention, which doesn't necessarily shock me, but like there's always an issue with whatever tournament. I mean, I've been on the same side before playing on a paper roster, and that's usually the environment you get. And you ended up having, for us, we ended up going 3-2, I think. Yeah, we were 3-2 and took advantage
of the open tournament. Ain't that bad, to be honest. No, open tournaments are made to be stacked, so that's not too shabby.
And that's the thing too, is I've been on the flip side before when you end up having the side of, well, it's the paper roster and we're getting destroyed. But anyways, I think Terry's back now, so we'll try adding him in here one more time.
There we go.
There he is.
Hey, I was listening to y'all. You guys are professional, man. Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, I brought John Boyd in, guys, and man, I got such a great rapport with all the coaches. I know them all. So now coaches up here doing what we love to do is coach these kids and get them better.
Well, and over the years, I'm sure you have a bond with some people that will just last a lifetime till the grave. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. I mean, here again, don't be. I can name drop Robbie Hummel, Matt Painter, Izzo, Calipari, even Digger Phelps. Me and Digger Phelps, man. We went out drinking. Patrick Ewing came in. I took him to the boat, so I get to see all these people and try to better their program. Izzo's a great one at it because he asked me about their attitude. What can you say about Jaren Jackson? You know what I'm saying? Great guy. I mean, he's going to be a great player, teammate, and a one and out. He was done and done. And Bowen should have went there. That was the one Patino gave the $200,000 to. You would never think that from that kid. He won the Jordan Classic. Him and Jaren went. He was the MVP. And he didn't go on to play anywhere, my man. He played for the Pacers for a little bit, but they wouldn't let him in school because, he took $200,000. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Patino, I don't know why you do that to players, but he was a great kid. And now, look, he's barely making it in the G League. And you got Jaren Jackson. They should have both went to Michigan State. That was what I heard. Because, I hear where all these kids go. So it was between Kansas and Michigan State because he lived in Michigan. Then here comes Louisville. Oh, what? Something was up, man. So, and there he is. He got, he got caught. They had a sting or whatever. And I don't know the particulars. I was just sad for the kid because he's a great kid. But he fought hard. He battled back and he played a couple games with the Pacers. And but then he fizzled out. He's playing with Fort Wayne Ants or something, and I just don't hear of them anymore. But you hear about the Jarens, Jordan Pools, and Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
Trey Lyles is coming back on the scene. I used to go down to Indianapolis Tech, and ref him quite a bit because a lot of them played him. I traveled down there, and he had one time I had him. He had a silent 41, and they beat Lalamere. Yeah, they won the state championship that year. But, and I got to see Odin play, Conley. So I had a blessed life, my friends. Blessed. And I'm not stopping yet.
What's the furthest you usually end up traveling to end up either refereeing or umpiring? Like, I know for a fact too far doesn't exist probably in your vocabulary, but what's the farthest you've gone so far while traveling for umpiring or officiating?
Well, basketball, I stay within like Indianapolis, probably the farthest, and then Illinois, I'll go all the way up to Chicago. But in softball, I've been to Canada. I was one of the four.
Holy shit!
2007 for NSA. They took the top four. That's when I won the Pascusi, their National Umpire of the Year. 4 of us went to Canada, and it was called the PIF. And all the major teams were there, and we got to work with the Canadas umpires, which was pretty cool. They did the bases, we did the plate because we had a little more experience. And I've been to Utah, I've been to Florida, taking me up, Pennsylvania, and a lot of Ohio. I thought last year I lived in Ohio. I went to like 7. I should have been. Yeah, I could have been a citizen 7 times. I was down at Birdliner because that's where it's at.
I was convinced you lived here last year.
Yeah, that was supposed to be my last year, and I kicked ass and took names. But this year, I'll probably be there 4 or 5. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
We got Cincinnati. I guess there's a nice park there that the King of the Hill's at.
Yeah, it's a very nice park.
There you go. You guys going to be there for that?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe that one's up in the air. That one's
Well, you'll be with me in spirit because I'm gonna be right there.
Right. I mean, for Cincinnati to me, it's like I might as well just go out of state.
You might as well go to Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
At that point,
I feel you.
But no, those are great fields. King of Hill. I don't know what their format is. I know back in the day.
Yeah,
that was the tournament to play, and that was like the Mojo in the summer type of deal. That was
that drop down. So you play so many games, and then you got dropped down to your original class, which was cool. And
right, and it started off like open. You could be an E team and play a major team. It was insane.
I did many a times. Hey, and it was the same run rule. Shit, it was over in 3.
Yeah. But I've been on both ends. The
teams back then wanted to play the bigger teams. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to see you against a conference team, and shit, they got shown. But they always went back to the bracket. Hey, take your licks and then go play E. You know what I'm saying? Go play E. It was fun. Yeah, because I was at the first King of the Hill.
Yeah, and they changed it. They made it somewhere else. I can't remember. They took it away from Cincinnati, or maybe they just didn't do it last year. But I remember something was
the one in Parma that they had in like 2021.
They did
something
like Barrington or some stupid shit. You know what I mean? It was something.
Right.
So, but because it was like if the homies did it, it wasn't that big. So all the homie umpires did it. They didn't need me because you're gonna have to pay me gas. You're gonna have to give me a room. Take me out to eat and find me, one of them girls on the side. Something.
Got to be the boss,
No, but I did go to Canton. He was Timmy. He was a good host. That was a good tournament. It lasted till like 1 a.m. But the King of the Hill. I haven't been there in years. I'm excited about Cliff. He maybe do a couple videos, so he's excited getting the back on track.
I made sure I wore my old Weekender shirt. This was from the 3rd one when it was GSL.
Okay.
Where's my camera at? Oh yeah.
That
was when you see what it says? 24 hour.
I can't read it. What's it say? Read it to me.
The Weekender Super Duel 24-hour tournament GSL.
Wow, was it an all-nighter?
It was 24-hour. Yeah, it did not. It went all night long.
Those are cool. You get your rest. You do about 4, 5, 6 games, then go take a nap and come on back.
This one was in Ridgeville, I think.
Yeah, VSP I saw in the corner.
Okay, yeah, Victory Sports, yeah. And
Rick is a great promoter, director. Social media. He fills this thing up, man. So, but the shirt last year was cool. I got that one, but I got to definitely get the WE. But that's the song I sang. The Weekender. That was one of my theme songs for One Nation. I'll have to play it before I come to the tournament this weekend. It's a good one. The weekend.
Yeah,
The weekend.
you'll do it on your live feed.
Patients come to a town near you. Blinded by the light. Yeah. I guess, I travel alone. So, I listen to the radio, get psyched up and get the softball in my head, get ready, try to call a perfect game. I'm not going to lie. I know you guys try to be perfect at the plate. I try to call a perfect game, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to get one. No slip ups, man. Can't do it.
And I got to give it to you,
right
too. I gotta give it to you. Another thing that makes you stand out is you want to be there, and no matter what the elements are, it could be freezing, raining out there, you'll still be that happy same guy you are. And that's another, that's huge to a guy like me. I appreciate that because it's a struggle for me as a player. It's like, all right, I love softball, but when it's freezing rain or snow or super windy, I even debate on if I want to be there anymore.
Yeah,
and
hear a lot of that,
but it's miserable conditions.
I
completely understand where you're coming from.
I got to battle it with y'all, man. I didn't hear most of it, but I know what you're saying. Rain, sleet, if we play, but I'm not going to get you out there and get hurt. If it's rain, it's thundering, we're getting out, but I'm going to stay there with you to the end, man. We'd rather be probably drinking a beer, watching, at Hooters or some shit. But if I got to be out there with you, I'm going to be there with you. And I'm not going to complain. I will never do.
Right.
Never do.
And
stay married, stay haze. Get it done.
I'm sure I speak for many.
Give me a blowout.
Yeah. I mean, easier said than done.
I appreciate it. Standing out there 8-9 hours is tough, but you know what? At the end of the day, you got it done. The brackets moving on, and hopefully all your games were good. The team that's supposed to won, and I'm coming back Sunday wearing the white, and I'm getting a championship game somewhere, and it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. What is in softball? What's your favorite division to ump in?
I like D and E. Really, I do, but C is the most.
Is that where you get yelled at the least in E and D?
What's that?
Which division's the most complainers?
I have none actually, but I would say probably D. Because they think they're right there at C, so they think they can talk to you some certain way. But I have to put them in their place and really nicely, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, that's all I got, Paul. And look what you did two bats ago. You popped up to the infield. Whose fault was that? So, I don't make them. We just have a conversation where, hey, just let me call the balls and strikes, and you hit the ball, and then they'll get up and get a nice hit, and I'll tell them, now see that great hit. So D, and it's been a while. Balls and strikes mainly. Some I think it's it should be one or the other. That's the only thing I get. It's not the outs and saves, because they see the hustle, they see man, I'm listening. I'm trying to be where I need to be and see what I need to see. But it's been a while. I try to have fun. You see it at the end of the game. Everybody's smiling, having fun. Team won, and I'll talk to them. Just like they were my friends. That's it, because the game's over. Hopefully, I gave you the game you wanted. And if you, like I said, you complain, complain all you want. At the end of the day, hey, it's gonna be what I call. I don't know what to say. It's what I called, and I try to make it consistent as I can. And I think I got it. But you know what? No one's perfect. But I'm near perfect. Dig? No one's perfect, but I'm near.
Coming from a umpire's standing, is there any rule that you would like to see added or taken away from men's slow pitch softball?
Let me see. Man, I pretty much like what we got going on, and I would like it not to be the inning and E. Reason being is D don't have it, and you're only giving them a home run and a DHH. I would take that out. That's just these are just a little minor ones. And
I'm sure most people would agree with that.
Yeah, that make it fair to everybody. and that's added. Man, here again, I'll go a step above. I'll give you 2 home runs in E because I'm for the hitter, and then I would go 4 in D. So I just add on. Oh, you notice I'm in the trenches. I'm adding it to the good side to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And in E, I don't even care about adding that home run. I just would appreciate just get rid of that inning ender and make it just.
I'd like to see another home run. See, that's just
having one guy take away your whole inning. That's just a buzz kill and a half.
And then that batter feels different then too.
I want the good team. If they're playing good, they're all clicking. Man, you might have 15 run. It was 20-5. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to kill it because of the ending inning. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
That ruins all momentum and everything. It just, but that's rules are rules. We all play by them. But
absolutely.
Some weekends you're for it, some weekends you're against it.
I think mandatory helmets. I think there's some that don't use them. I haven't seen it in my levels, but use that helmet every time. Please use the helmet.
I'm one of the guys that don't, but I express it many times. I'm not playing at that upper level. I am right now in lower. Yes. So I get away with it, and I defend myself. I don't just stand there, since I don't have.
Still young, you got that. Your reflexes are good. I know that. That's your opinion, and
I feel like once I can't defend myself, that's when I'll step down from doing that.
Absolutely. Like I said, you're a grown ass man, so I respect your opinion, and I try to look out for it. Hopefully, we don't have those idiots that go up the middle. Sometimes, like me, when I played, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lower division player, really a E-rec miss hit. You know what a miss hit is, but you get those coming back. That's when I always, I, as an umpire, I can give a warning, and which I have in a lot of situations, you know what I'm saying? So I do that to keep the players safe. That's it. They understand. Come on, don't do it again. You ain't, it ain't about you. He's got a family. He's got to go to work.
Right.
We all do.
Yeah. It depends on the game and the people I'm playing against, though. Sometimes I'm like drawing a target on my chest while I'm on that mountain, telling them, come get some,
I'm gonna snatch you up, baby.
If I'm not, my middleman will. I trust my middleman. So,
well, we're gonna have a good time. I hope that weather holds up.
Yep.
Listen, I've got to get back in here. Any other questions? And I just had a great time with you two. We got to go out and have a beer, drink. Just let me know, because my fans want to see this. Let me know how to put it on Facebook for them.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I already tagged you on Facebook, and before we end up going anywhere, before you continue to ref your next game, you mentioned your Twitter earlier on. Plug the Twitter for our fans too as well, because you deserve to be heard as well and get more recognition all the time.
I appreciate that, man. Just like I said, we are all part of God's plan. And if you play softball and you're part of my family, one more thing I got to add, because I lost a good friend who died in my arms, I'm going to say 8 years ago at Kalamazoo. He just had a heart attack and died, but he died where he wanted to be. He had no money. He depended on me, but he was me and him could be anywhere in the country and ref umpire together, and there'd be no issues. We were actually Saturday night. We did the men's open final, and it was like 25-24. When we left the field, it was Suburban. Back in them days, they were the team in Michigan. They said, man, that's the greatest game we've ever had, 2 guys umpire. And then that next morning, he died in my arms. But his family had no money. Of course, I didn't have that much money. I plugged in what I could. But with the help from social media, his friends, the softball family, we raised $8,000 in 2 days.
That's amazing.
This softball family that we have, you being included, when one of us go down, need help, they're right there. And I am too. I've been to many tournaments, giving my time, donating it. And
how did that the bracelets go for you? How did that turn out go for you?
I sold them all, and then listen up. I've got 40 more, but they're blue, so I'm gonna do that. I was with my grandson earlier today. He's such a joy. It's he's a little different, but he's my guy, and we're gonna give him the world. And he's got autism, but I love him to death. And we're gonna try to sell 20-30 more this weekend.
Well, say one for me, and that could be my excuse to link up with you.
Absolutely. I told you I'm going to be over in like 13. I was looking at the C. It's going to be like in that 13, 14, 15 pod. I'll be probably there for a while.
Okay. All right. By the tents and all that, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Come on, get your weekender shirt and come and get a picture with me. Absolutely. That'll
Absolutely.
make my week. Bring me a Red Bull.
A Red Bull? Original?
I usually run out. Yeah. So
you
all right, well, thank
have
you
the
guys.
summer edition?
What's that, sir?
The summer edition Red Bull?
Whatever you bring, boy, that's going down. It's Red Bull. It's going to give me some wings. That's what they say. And I really don't need them because I don't want to fly out the joint. I'm going to be soaring, man. I'm going to be soaring for y'all. I'm going to be in rare form, and we're going to get her done. We're going to fool them again. We're going to fool them again.
Yeah. Make sure you travel safe.
Okay, I appreciate you guys. Hey, you're the best. Man, this is very successful. I know you two are, because I know you personally, and I love you. Peace out. I'm headed back. I got about 10 minutes to go, and we're gonna get back on that hardwood. I love y'all, man.
All right, brother.
Hey, thanks for joining us again, Terry. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I don't know how to shut it off, bud. Just cut me out.
I got you. I'll remove you out of the way and enjoy your games.
Okay, right on, man. Peace out. Thank you. I love y'all.
Peace out, brother. Oh, what a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely an interesting interview, to say the least. I mean, he brought a little bit of factor of everything. And
did I not tell you?
No, you did. You told me. You could say you quote unquote warned me, but that wouldn't be the right wording because that warning wasn't needed. It wasn't unsolicited. It wasn't needed. He was a great time to have. And I mean, he ended up bringing up the E-roll too. And that just goes to show you, if you ever have him, he's not looking, his strike zone might be really tight or it might be really accurate and consistent, but regardless, he's going to end up looking out for the batter because he's willing to give up another home run.
I see you, Andajar. Thugging this weekend.
Man, that weather, though, of course, per usual, like we were talking about, it's typical Ohio weather when you end up going into the weekender, and hopefully it's changing up a little bit because Thursday, I think, 77 degrees, and then it drops down again.
Yeah, spring softball.
Anytime you go to Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were graceful with the spring fling business. Yeah, I mean, I was sunburnt.
Yeah, my neck
is still fried. Yeah, It feels hot right now.
And my arms are too. But yeah, as you bring up the spring fling, I wanted to end up going back to what we were talking about when Terry was having connection problem, or we were, whatever it may be, technical difficulties.
Oh, the Normapalooza.
Yeah,
right.
Yep, exactly, with Normapalooza. And I mean, you've been in the position when I first started playing softball, you got smoked in a paper roster tournament because you wanted to keep the same team with you. Obviously, when you end up playing guys, like you got a bunch of conference guys then. I mean, I think I ran into John Williams for the first paper roster tournament I had in either one or two. But I'm telling you, with that being said, with Normapalooza, it's not a bad thing, but you ended up having people complaining about umpiring. I did see Macho.
He was in black pants, too. Jeez. Woo!
Man, I wouldn't say you looked stupid, though, but I'm telling you looked warm, probably.
Yeah.
But with Normapalooza, though, when we ended up talking about that, the previous show with me going to the Guardians game due to the last week not being around, we didn't have a Facebook version or Twitter or YouTube, but we got the podcast version, which you could listen to this tomorrow morning, Wednesday at 8 a.m., and it's also on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher. It's also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But without the selfless plug to end up plugging us and getting our words out there, with Normapalooza, you ended up having some people ended up disagreeing with some umpires, which, to say the least, that always is going to happen. But I want to take it a step further to spring fling because obviously I'm not going to end up agreeing with what they said about umpires just because there are better umpires and sometimes they do have their days. But the thing is what we experienced last weekend, what was really frustrating on my part with the spring fling was when we were playing our second team, it was one of the coaches ended up rolling in a ball when it was off the top of the fence post. And it hit off the top of the fence. The coach ended up thinking it was already a home run. So he rolls in a ball, it hit off the top of the fence, and it came back in. So that ball is live in play. Well, there's a ball in the field as well. and the umpire didn't do anything at all. And that was the most frustrating part because our pitcher was frustrated, I was frustrated, and our second baseman got frustrated as well and ended up getting ejected. But that's like, I think that's valid when it comes to it too. And especially when the coach from the other team that does that action validates you and says that you should have had an offensive ejection as in the other team and that batter should have been out. Obviously, you don't want to play all your cards and put them out there during the game because obviously you're just going to look questionable. But after the game, I mean, I do the same thing. Everybody does that because you end up learning the rule book. But that's also when players have an idea about the rules a little bit more than the umpires. I think that was the most frustrating part with that too. And I mean, I don't know how much experience the umpire had. Couldn't even tell you his name. But that was the most frustrating experience because that you end up, I'm a first baseman. I was playing first base. I wanted to back up my pitcher, but if I moved and he's throwing that ball out there, I could end up stepping on that, twisting an ankle, falling on my ass, whatever it may be, because I wasn't paying attention to that ball. But I was playing back for a second by the time he did that. And it's like, sir, our safety. That's what you care about as a player. And the umpire.
Was the pitch thrown already when the ball came in?
Yeah, it was already a live ball. It was off the fence post, and then the coach ended up throwing it in like it was just a typical home run. But it hit off the top of the fence post, and this was all during what happened while the play was live. Does that make sense? So the pitch was already thrown. The batter ended up hitting it. The coach thought it was a home run and over the fence, but it hit off the top of the fence, came back into play, goes into left field. That ball that the coach rolled in is already by the pitcher, already on the field, and a live ball is still intact.
That's a weird situation, to be honest. It's not a dead ball.
Right, exactly.
He called it a dead ball?
No, it wasn't a dead ball, but it was still the fact that the ball that was rolled in, there should have been something done about that. That was what our argument was, because there was a ball that was still live and you end up having a second ball in the field. That should be treated just like another person on the field that's alive. If it gets hit or if you end up tripping over it, whatever it may be, that's an issue then.
Yeah, if that was the case, then he could have called like interference or I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now.
Offensive ejection was what the coach mentioned to us with the first base.
If somebody if it would have altered the play, you know what I mean? But it didn't, did it?
No.
The ball, it just was there, right? So that's why nothing happened. I mean, it could have, but it didn't. You know, that it's one of those situations, but.
That was probably the most frustrating thing, though, from the weekend, just because you ended up having, obviously, I'm not going to say that everybody ended up expecting that it was out, but it hit off the top of the fence. And normally on a good day of VSP, that's probably gone. But it hits off the tippy top of the fence, like one of the pillars almost, and it comes back in, and this ball's in play. The frustrating part was from my standpoint as a player, and I'm glad we had Terry on today, and I wish I could have ended up asking him his thoughts on that too. But we still had a great interview either way without that. But it was the fact that nothing was done. Like, there was an explanation, but it was too late already. Like, the play already happened. There's no consequences for the action.
Next time that happens, just step on the ball and, like, fall over.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That way it altered the players. I don't know, because you probably won't even get that at that point. They would have to say the ball would have to interfere with the play at 2 or something, you know. That's just a weird scenario, though. You're not going to hear about that happening too often. That's just one of those funny situations that'll probably only ever happen in E.
Right, exactly. And even Macho ended up agreeing too with saying that that's the rule, that it should be interference and the closest runner to the plate is out. But that was the thing, was that I think it was just, that was the most frustrating part. And obviously that's only going to happen in E, but I'm not going to end up stepping on a ball, because if that happens, what happens if my ass is uncoordinated for the time being? I end up twisting an ankle or something. Like, that would be my luck. That's just the way that life goes.
Faking rolling an ankle and really rolling your ankle while doing it.
No, thanks. I'm young, but I also know for a fact I'll have the stupidest injury at some point. Like, that's good. Like, it's twisting your ankle. I mean, there was one time at indoor, I slid and my foot went underneath my ass, and that ended up, my ankle was shot for about like 2-3 months.
Yeah, I snapped my ACL in half in an indoor. So the turf monster grabbed me up and snapped me
Yes.
in half.
So you understand to what extent it could be as bad as, and I understand where you're coming from. I just got luckier.
I was running and I just tried to stop, and it was like snap. Sounded like a shotgun went off in that place.
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and I
But
immediately went down. I was rolling around, screaming like a little girl. Ah.
I don't blame you. I would too. But obviously, though, with talking about the spring fling, well, let me give you your time because I gave my time on a rant so far. So I'll give you the time on what your thoughts were about spring fling. Obviously, you guys played a little bit better than us. If you look at the bracket, I ended up mentioning during the time when I think Terry first was joining us, we were talking about the finals. You ended up having, I think, Cornerstone almost double dipped 6 a.m. boys, and they ended up winning by 3 runs. I think it was 26-23. And I mean, the semifinals of the losers bracket too was 2 Amish teams. It was Buckeye against Cornerstone, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't remember the end of it. I just knew the outcome was 6 a.m. boys.
And I want to say I'm 90% certain with that because I looked at the bracket because I was just kind of following along that night. And I'm like, oh, let's see what ends up happening. And I'm just curious from afar when I'm at home just to say, let's see what happens. And sometimes you end up falling into that. It's just fun looking at a bracket. I'm a bracket guy. I'm a March Madness guy. I like looking at that and seeing the results as it happens. Sometimes I wish they were just quicker.
Yeah, it was no surprise to me that the 6 a.m. boys pulled that one out. That one, I mean, Bridgeville, that's their backyard. A lot of them guys are from Elyria, around this area. And they were already fired up from like a past incident during the week from league. So them boys were already fired up and on one. So it seemed like they had all their starters. They came prepared. So they pulled it out. They did a good job doing that.
That was a different team name last year, right?
That was the Amherst Eagles.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what I thought.
But the Cardiac Kids, we ended up when we started off pretty good. We were 2-0. That heat set in. We only had 10 guys for that those first 2 games. That really did us in. It's not recommended for most teams to do 10 in the heat. Yeah. It was the first heat too. That's a different heat. It was the first heat. That was that was just rough in general. From everyone, we were all a little bit of musical positions, people playing out of position, and some outfielders. But first 2 games, we made it work. We had a couple good battles. And one was the come from behind win too. We were losing the whole game and came back. We just kept fighting. And
well, if we're going to talk about people playing and plugging in positions too, I mean, I saw it because it happened right near us when we were sitting. What about your catch out in right field? And then later on in the next game, you had Austin do the same thing in right field as well. That was your final out for back-to-back games and the 2 that you won back-to-back to start.
Yeah, that's just how it goes, man. Yeah, in right field too.
Yep.
And neither of us are like outfielders right now. We're both older.
Smashed in the face. Like you had 1 foot up into the fence, and I'm like, oh, that does not look good.
Yeah, but my hand really paid the price on that one. And my bare hand too hit the pole, and it's been bothering me. I've been having to ice it. I was at work, turned purple. Oh my god, that ain't good.
Jeez.
I wanted that game over, man. We were only up by 2 in the bottom. I was like, I'm getting this ball. It's in range. I'm getting it. But I didn't realize it was going to be 1 foot off the fence when I caught it. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to drop like 5 feet in front of that fence. No, that ball just kept curving away. But
that was the way the wind was, though, early on. And then he ended up having our shortstop ended up in our game 2 beforehand. I mean, shout out to Soft Serve and Cody Miller. I want to say it's Cody Miller, if not Cody, either way. But for Soft Serve, because Joe ended up taking a ground ball and ended up hopping up and took a victory hop to his eye and ended up having a nice little cut that ended up having him drip for a while. And he got stitched up by my girlfriend and taken care of with that. But it was not a good day for fences and ground balls and you name it. It was a rough day for both of us. And like you said, we were at 10 guys. We ended up going to 11 at game 2 and then down to 10 guys again. So it was definitely in that wait in between too. It was a little bit
like we didn't have subs for an option. We only had 10 guys,
We got lucky.
We wish we had subs that day. We were begging. Our subs were playing, you know what I mean?
Right.
We were begging for guys. But yeah, the heat did us in, and we got the best of us those last 2 games. But overall, I thought it was a good tournament. It was a good time for teams to gel and just to get out and play in good weather for once without 5 hoodies on. It was just good for the soul.
Yeah, right.
They got most people, like I seen a lot of D guys out there. Like for instance, Macho was one. They just were filling in on different teams just to get some swings in to be prepared for the weekender coming up.
Yep. I also saw KJ and Token were both there as well. They ended up playing with a couple of you guys as well too. I mean, that it's frustrating. Let me rephrase this. It's not frustrating, but when I first started playing tournament ball, I was always upset with the D guys playing down to E. But in reality, though, that kind of goes to what we were talking about with Normapalooza and the open rosters. If you want to get better and learn from these guys that are playing DC, so on and so forth, majors, conference, that's exactly what you have to run into. And you're going to end up learning a thing or two while playing against them in E. But when I first started playing, that used to frustrate me so much. But then in reality, you're allowed 3 D chips. That's allowed. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
just the way you use them. Yeah, it's just the way you use them. But it's always like, that was always the initial frustration. But now playing for 2-3 years later, I understand why. Because if you have the ability, why not take advantage of it?
Yeah, I mean,
this is going to be a player that could teach your guys something, or else something that could be asked by one of your players, that a question that hasn't been answered the right way for whatever position they're playing, possibly.
Yeah, the key difference is this is like buddy ball. If this is buddy ball and being friends and just hanging out, having a good time, not really a care in the world, that's where you do at league. In tournaments, it's more of a business situation. You know what I mean? Everyone's here to win it, and every weekend you want your best guys out there. That's how it should be if you really want to win. Your D chips should never sit unless they're just struggling. You know what I mean? So there's 3 of your guys right there. So you're just basically plugging in 7 other guys to work with your D, and then having another 3 or 4 guys off the bench that could fill in here and there when needed. That's what's going to take a successful E team. Everyone on the same page, being, I don't know if everyone has a role, but just everyone has to know it's almost like it's straight business. It's not buddy ball in tournaments at all. And some people will like it and some people won't. You're going to learn what you're going to get real quick.
And I mean, to even take it a step further too, for me, for example, it's frustrating at times, or at least it has been in the past, but like, you have to understand what role you are, because sometimes you're just the mouthpiece. You're the guy that gets fired up. You're the guy that ends up picking up your teammates. You're the guy that when you get an opportunity, you're the spark plug, so to speak. And that's okay. And for the longest time playing tournament ball, initially, that's frustrating, but everybody has a role. Sometimes your spark plug isn't going to be ignited until whatever 6th, 7th inning when you're down by 2, and that's what you need. You need somebody to fire up your guys. You need somebody to pick up your guys, and that happens. That's okay.
Absolutely. And
that's a message to anybody, I guess, wanting to play E or tournament ball or even moving up, that's okay. Like, that's, people end up getting frustrated, I think, that they're not playing, they're not a full-time starter. Your opportunity is going to come one way or another. It's just, it's going to take more time at times, or else it's going to take less time. It depends how you're hitting. You're very streaky. Softball's streaky. It's not like baseball when 3 out of 10 times in the Major League Baseball, you end up having a 300 average. That's a great thing. In softball, in E, you're talking 500, 600 hitter. It's different. It's much different.
When my guys ask me that, like, questions like, where am I playing or what am I doing, or they want to see the lineup in advance. We usually just always go by it situational. When my subs are going to go in, it's situational. Whether it could be the first inning, you might take someone's bat. It could be the last inning, you know what I mean? Or we might be a close game and you can't get a sub in, you know what I mean? Tournaments go that way. Every game might be a close game and you can't even get your subs in because you want your starters playing. It's all situational. And everyone has to be on board with that. They can't be into the how much playing time they're going to get. It has to be for the team to be successful. The only way it'll work, or everyone's just going to be fighting and wanting playing time the whole time.
And that's what kind of helps when you end up playing with more of your buddies, or you have more friends on the team, or else you all played, like you mentioned, league ball. You got a lot of guys that play league, and it's that transitional period that's kind of shocking, because it's not, oh, well, he's not playing buddy ball with me because I'm not playing blah, blah, blah. It's a transition. It's going to be different, but you have to end up adjusting, and being with your friends kind of helps because you're also firing up your teammates with friends alongside with it. So you're playing, you're still getting your playing time eventually, but you're also sitting, but you're sitting with not just random people or not by yourself. Usually it's a group of people because those subs are going to have an opportunity.
Yeah, usually my subs always usually at least get one shot at it, whether it's just at least one at bat. I know that's not much, but I mean, if you're doing good, usually that's nobody's complaining when you're winning. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
But I appreciate all my subs. So far, everyone that I've had has done and asked what I've needed them to do. You know, whether it's to come in for a hit or play, different positions they don't like. So far, we're gelling on that point. We just got to score a couple more runs, and we're going to be dangerous.
And I mean, as you ended up talking about too, you got the weekender coming up this weekend with terrible weather ahead, possibly. But I mean, I've seen on Facebook that's kind of been your guys' motto. This weekender is going to be not. I don't want to say and put words into your guys' mouth, but it's going to be a big statement, so to speak. Like you end up playing to do big things, but at the same time, though, that's what all softball teams do. You want to win, you want to show out, and if you're going to have a full squad, obviously you want to end up making a run. But by the looks of it, with what I've seen on social media with you guys, with Austin, with a couple of your other guys, you guys are ready for it. What's expectations like, I guess?
We expect nothing less than to make it to Sunday. Myself, the whole gang, we're fired up. We're talking about it all day long from 4:00 in the morning till midnight. We're fired up talking about something, and we are looking forward to it. We are ready to come out hitting. Give us the away team. We want it. We want to hit. That's where we are. And you're going to have to out hit us this weekend. So far, we're like one game over 500 right now. We're only like 7-6 on One Nation, but we're looking to change that big time. We're making it to Sunday.
And is the bracket out yet, or is that coming out Thursday?
Yeah, we got 9:30 is our first game.
9:30 at night Friday?
No, Saturday morning. 9:30 Saturday morning against Michigan.
Michigan Havoc, maybe?
Reload?
Okay.
I don't think they've played yet. I think this might be their first tournament, but Barrel plays on that team.
Oh, okay.
He messaged me talking shit already.
That'd be nice to see somebody travel down from a former Ohio guy standpoint, go from Michigan. I played over there.
That's going to be a funny game to watch, at least, because Barrel's going to be chirping and we're all going to be chirping. So that'll be entertainment.
And it'll all be in good fun, too, as well, obviously.
Yeah.
And with the weekender, too, wasn't it in years past that East started like Friday night? Is this something new that they're doing this year, that it's Saturday morning for you guys?
I mean, with every year, it changes. I don't even know. I've been in like every weekend tournament, so like I tend to just mix them all into one. But like I said, that one they used to be at VSP. Like I said on the shirt, I remember playing. I don't know if it was really 24 hours. I think they made us stop playing at like 5 in the morning or something like that. They'd cut off the lights and then just start right back up at like 7 or 8 in the morning. You know what I mean? But it was pretty much 24 hours. I remember playing at like that 3:00 in the morning game, and then it was like 4. They turned the lights off, and they had like these cool little heaters in the middle, and it was cool. It was awesome. It was just like you don't get those kind of tournaments, and it was like springtime. You know what I mean? Those 24-hour tournaments are usually like 4th of July tournaments or like maybe Labor Day or something.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, that's something to end up talking about in the future as well as the Labor Day camp out tournaments too. I mean, softball tournaments, I mean, I guess from the weekender standpoint, you've been around long enough that you've seen, I mean, on your shirt it says 2018 and we're in 2023 now. It's been 6 years, 7 years almost, 5 if I do math correctly now.
I think it started in 2016.
Okay. And did you end up playing in 2016 too then?
Yeah, I have that shirt as well. Yeah.
So it's been 7 years that it's been running. What's the best? I mean, obviously it's been at VSP. It's been in Columbus. Is there any other spot that it's been at or tried at since then? And if so, what's the preference? Obviously VSP probably, but is there another reason outside of location?
I think it was at VSP for like 3 years, 4 years or something like that. And then I don't know, I think it's just been at the Berliner. I think it was at Berliner last year, or maybe
Yep.
it was yeah. And
I want to say like the last 2 years it's been in Berliner and Columbus.
before that, it was at Ridgeville, VSP.
And is that kind of like the same environment or completely different just because there's more teams at Berliner? It was VSP. I mean, you get a decent crowd. It's
That
a different
was
type of crowd.
all right. Well, you know how I don't know. Do you know how Berliner is at night? Right? How it's like if you stand on the back fields and you look forward, you can just see all the lights from all the fields.
Yep.
Like goes towards the city. It's a badass look. I mean, I guess that's what VSP just looks like. Just a mini version, just way closer. You know what I mean? Because you have all the fields right there spread out. So I mean, and at nighttime, it's a little bit different than league because they're all tournament players. So it's more serious. You know what I mean? You got people standing around really watching compared to people standing around drinking, getting hammered.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
almost
real
like you're scouting instead.
right. So the energy is just a little more up.
And
You know
plus,
what I mean?
compared to the league night and the tournaments too, usually, I mean, I'm sure it's a fact that your league players that are usually the loud tournament players, it's a little dialed back because it's a league night and you want to save that energy because of Saturday coming up or Sunday coming up too as well, probably.
Yeah. I remember too the one year I think we played league. We played our like 2 games of league and then the weekender started like right after league.
Oh, wow. So you ended up having 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row.
Yeah. It was insane.
That's crazy though to think about.
Yeah. Well, that's when I used to like it. Now I mean it's cool because like, but it only goes to like what 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, like right at like a little bit after like 9 or 10 usually, I want to say. At least that's what I remember for Mojo. Like the latest I think I've seen a game down there and hung around was like a 8 o'clock game, which was Mojo like 2 years ago.
My guess is it's the city that makes them cut the lights off. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because you end up having people with all that. There's probably neighborhood complaints too because of how much lights and watts of lights that you end up having and the brightness that it's in my backyard or else it's shining on the highway and accidents are up or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. The difference in a real 24-hour tournament is you just got to see it to believe it type of deal. You know what I mean? You have to deal with it, be there, and have your whole team that works different shifts in different places. You know what I mean? To have them together at like 3 o'clock in the morning playing. You know, some are tired, some are drunk, some are missing. It's a fun ride for sure.
I mean, I played in the Norwalk all-nighter last year. I think it was like the end of June going into July, like that July 4th weekend, like you mentioned. And that was the first time playing in an all-nighter, and it's definitely an experience. Like, it's a different kind of experience. You have guys that were friends or else they're friends afterwards at this point. You end up having a game that starts at, I think, like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. for us, and then you ended up having a break until like 11 or midnight, and then you ended up playing again at 3 or 4 a.m., and people are taking naps, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's definitely an environment, though. So there's some people that just powered through and went through it, but like we ended up, I think, finishing up at like 4 a.m., I think, by the time we were done, which was a long day because I ended up working out in Sandusky, ended up coming back to Lakewood, ended up going back out there again. It was an adventure, to say the least. And then all the driving and then playing as soon as we got there, pretty much. That was my first all-nighter experience. And if I had the opportunity to do it again and my availability lets me, so be it. I do it again. It was fun. It was amazing. But it was definitely there's the verb, there's the wording, it's a vibe. That was literally what that night was just a vibe overall.
Yeah, I wish I had the energy and the strength to still do that. I definitely don't.
I don't blame you. I was struggling, and I'm 10 years younger than you, probably.
Yeah,
if not
I would need
6, 7.
I would need a whole like week to recuperate myself.
Yep. Prepare everything over again. Mentally prepare yourself for the weekend or the overnighter, and then you ended up having the rest of the week. I almost said weekender because I'm looking at your shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
you got any? Have you looked like at the who's No, so you haven't looked at the bracket at all for the weekend, right?
No, I didn't get a chance to yet. We have to end up doing the points system thing too, but I might be able to pull up the weekender bracket though. Give me 1 second. But
there's 52 teams in E. I really didn't get a chance to look at D or C's. I don't even know D's in it. I know C's in it.
There's no major teams or conference teams this year, right?
I don't recall. I don't think so.
Okay.
I got E's. Yeah, E's. 52 teams. There's some tough teams in it. Illest, Buckeye, Station to Station, White Crown, I Fix Ugly, 6 a.m. Boys, Bobcat, Nova, of course the Cardiac Kids.
Yep.
All teams to watch out for in this tournament. It can go with any team, to be honest. I see most of these teams make it. I don't know how many teams make it to Sunday, but I feel like most of these teams are going to represent their name fairly well.
That was going to be my next question, though, because after Mojo, do you think – because I ended up getting really cocky with Ohio softball when I ended up looking at it with the ability and Ohio's the best softball programs that are around, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that it's going to be top 3 in Ohio again, or do you think there's going to be some Michigan, West Virginia trickled in? Because I think that this time around – your final 3 that you end up getting, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 Michigan teams and an Ohio team end up making it to Sunday and end up making it into the championship too as well, because Michigan Illest, I think they ended up winning Mojo, and if not, they finished really well, and they're number 1 seed going into Saturday. They have a late start too. They start at 1 p.m. They get an extra late start, and they have you have the option with them that they could travel Saturday morning and still be there on time.
Yeah, but those late starts aren't always the best. Man.
Yeah, that is true.
While you're sitting back chilling, you're letting some teams catch fire. You know what I mean? So for each his own. You know, I mean, they ain't like they just got to choose their position. You know, I mean, that's what they got. Everyone. I don't know how they did they do ranking off of points?
Possibly. Let me see.
It's probably random. But no, Illis probably isn't.
After 6 a.m. Boys, I think they're the 3rd seed after they ended up winning this past weekend. Yeah, and at Mojo, they went 9-1. So it's probably by points because they ended up getting 500 points. This is Michigan Illis that I'm talking about. And they've won a couple they've been in D tournaments too, and they're 2-1 too. So they've been definitely looking tough, to say the least. But that's just a look, though, too. I mean, this time around, too, we're kind of figuring out what kind of Amish teams are out there right now. You got Cornerstone. You end up having Buckeye as well. I wouldn't be surprised if any of the Amish teams end up making it into Sunday. They're looking really good. And from seeing it at Mojo, you had Fairview Softball and D have a good run, too, and they were just an E team last year. So that's just one of those things that the Amish teams are always going to be relevant. I wouldn't want to say I'd bank on it, but I'd say 80 to 85% sure that Cornerstone ends up making it into the championship or else making it deep into the losers bracket, especially after last weekend, because momentum.
That's Buckeye, right? Cornerstone Buckeye.
Cornerstone Buckeye Masonry. And then there's also another Amish team too that's just Buckeye, and they were the green team, I believe, last weekend. Cornerstone was, I want to say, red in the Amish team. Like red
Buckeye team. Yep. Yeah, there's that Buckeye and gray and red. Yeah, I was fucking with those dudes, actually. They were in their game, and we were on the backfield, so we were like along.
Is that when I was over by you?
Yeah. I remember we were like talking shit to them and found out that they were from Dover, but that's about all the information we got out of them. They're from Dover.
Well, their trip might be worth it this time around, because I think that's going to be one of the teams I think makes it into Sunday, and I think they have a good run in store, especially after last weekend. I want to say Michigan Illist, I'll end up saying up there as well. So that's my 2 out of the 3. And for a third one, it's going to be really tough. I couldn't really end up, after looking at the bracket, there's a lot of good potential out there. You got Headhunters, you got War Machine, you have Hoodstar. You have a lot of solid teams out there. Pure Hustle had a good run this past weekend as well. You guys had a great run as well too, but I don't want to be biased by saying, cardiac kids would be in the top 3. I don't, especially if we're playing for points as well now. I can't end up falling into the fall in love category of being a homer with you guys just because we're not in it.
I know my guys this weekend, so I'm pretty confident that we are gonna probably bust that top 3.
Okay.
You know what? I'm feeling good, and we're ready. Like I said, we're fired up. We are going to be straight thugging. No one's going to want to run into us. We're going to be running our mouths the whole entire time. If anyone likes it or not, it's going to be a great time. So bring your sticks and bring your gloves and be ready to go because the kids ain't playing.
Hey, you know what? With that kind of confidence, I almost want to end up having you in the top 3 too. I want to, and I think I might end up doing it too. I don't want to be called a homer by any means, but I think definitely I mentioned earlier on with all the buzz that you guys ended up having on social media, the confidence, and I think that a lot of people wouldn't expect it too. And that's always the unexpected teams that end up making good runs because if you ended up filling out a bracket in softball, it's going to be busted within the first 3 or 4 games as if we were doing it March Madness style.
Yep. And this is going to be like the first time we get to come together as a team. We all been missing guys every single weekend. Not everyone's been there. This is the first time where we'll still be missing some guys, but this is like when we're going to have like our powerhouse damn near. So I'm feeling pretty cocky and confident. I am looking very forward to the weekend despite any weather or any teams we face.
Looking at the teams that are out of state right now too, just you have Indiana, KTB, West Virginia, Bush Mountain State, bunch of Ohio teams, Michigan Rampage, Michigan Motown Infernos, Indiana Weather Pro, Michigan Reloaded that you guys play against, West Virginia Players Club, and then another Michigan Raptors team, SC. Do you think if the weather ends up becoming shitty, you think that any of the out-of-state teams that don't play in Ohio, like a West Virginia that's probably a little bit nicer this time of year, are going to end up struggling with that weather change? I'm not going to say that. I think out of all the options out of the out-of-state teams, that's the one that's the furthest away from being used to it because Indiana's used to it. Michigan's used to it. I think that's fair.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if they've ever been here before, I guess. That would have, if you've been here before, then you know how quickly this weather can turn. But if they've never been here, this is a first-time experience for them.
Good luck.
I hope they pack close.
Right? Here's your message right now. If you're listening out of state, pack your socks, pack your extra socks, pack your hoodies, layer up, because otherwise you're going to be freezing your ass off in that wind. If it's anything like it was during Mojo, it's going to be terrible.
But don't forget your swim trunks and tank tops either, because it could change quickly.
That's Sunday sportsman, actually.
So bring your summer wardrobe and your winter wardrobe.
And maybe it's just an invite to the cardiac kids. Maybe they got an Airbnb with a pool or something. Maybe that's just an invite that you're giving out too. Invite every stranger over for a pool party, hot tub party.
Absolutely not. Most of us are so poor still from Mojo weekend.
No, that's understandable. So you have to invite your Airbnb. Anybody listening, invite the cardiac kids for their swim trunks, their pool parties. That's what you're talking about. Obviously, somebody has to host it. It's just that
I thought the Wahoos were going to. Definitely won't be the kids.
Hey, it's not us. We ain't going. We can't end up going. If we're not there, we can't host, right?
Right. Hey, speaking of cardiac kids, got this liquor basket out. We appreciate some help getting that filled. That's been out for a long time now. So we think we got like 25 spots left. All you people and other teams, the cardiac kids and myself, if we help get in your raffles, we appreciate that help back. That was that.
How much is a ticket?
$20 a ticket. Sorry.
$20 a ticket.
And there's a bunch of different bottles, bunch of different Crown Apple, Crown Peach, all the Crowns, and tequilas, and there's like a Bud Light cooler with a speaker, and there's another cooler that has like a backpack. I know Bud Light's everyone's favorite right now, so make sure you jump on those.
Absolutely. Make sure you end up entering into the Cardiac Kids fundraiser. You could be seen on Adam's Facebook, I'm sure. Adam, if you want to give out your Facebook name too, plug that really quick, and then we could close the show.
It's just my name, Adam Iriziri. Everyone knows Austin Olar. It's on his. Any other Cardiac Kids page should have shared it as well.
Absolutely. Well, good luck this weekend at the Weekender. Kick some ass. I'm saying that you guys are going to be in top 3. I'm trusting your word, and I hope you end up coming through, and I hope even if it's cold, warm, whatever, I hope you guys make a weekend of it without a doubt.
We're going to adjust to any weather and any circumstance. We're ready. We're coming. Weekender.
You want to know why? Because you're from Ohio, and we're just built different.
OHIO. Let's
Absolutely. Go. Hey, and that's going to be in Columbus, too, so it's very fitting to say the least. I don't even think But anyways, thank you for tuning in to the We Like Softball podcast. Again, 6:30 to 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. Make sure to check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher. Our podcast version will be out tomorrow morning, which is Wednesday at 8 a.m. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Like I said, make sure to follow us on Twitter at We Like Sportz PC on Twitter. Our website, WeLikeSportsPC.com. Follow me on Twitter at Payton Vince. I'll end up getting Terry's Twitter out there as well at some point too. And do you have a Twitter, or is it just a TikTok for you?
No, I'm just on the book and the talk.
And what's the talk?
Crazy Shorts 420.
There we go. And we'll see you
Dancing Demon.
All right, the Dancing Demon. We'll see you next week, though. Good luck again this weekend, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See y'all next weekend or next week.